When you lose sight of where you're going, every road looks right. You start drifting, wandering, chasing whatever looks shiny in the moment. But vision, real vision, keeps you steady when the noise gets loud. It's not just about seeing something in your imagination. It's about holding it in your spirit so deeply that no distraction can shake it loose. Because when you have a vision, you don't need everything to make sense right now. You just need to know what direction you're walking in. See, people with vision don't quit just because the path gets hard. They don't need approval, they don't need applause, they don't even need company. They just need to remember asterisk why asterisk they started. Because when the asterisk why asterisk is strong, the asterisk when asterisk and the asterisk how asterisk stop controlling you. Vision gives you clarity. It makes you say no to what doesn't fit. It forces you to prioritize purpose over pleasure. Some of you are tired not because life is too heavy, but because you've been carrying things that have nothing to do with your vision. You're fighting battles that were never yours, investing time where there's no return, watering seeds that were never meant to grow in your soil. You've got to learn to release what doesn't align because your energy is sacred. Your focus is sacred. Every minute you spend chasing something outside your purpose is a minute stolen from your destiny. When you have vision, it changes how you move. You don't rush just because everyone else is running. You don't panic because the blessing hasn't shown up yet. You understand that timing is a part of the plan. You learn to walk with patience, but live with purpose. That's why people who are grounded in vision are dangerous, because they can't be easily moved. They might bend, but they won't break. They might stumble, but they won't stop. Vision will test you. It'll pull you through seasons where you can't see results, but you have to trust the process. You'll be tempted to look around and compare, but comparison kills clarity. The moment you start measuring your vision by someone else's progress, you've already lost focus. You don't know what they went through to get where they are. You don't know what price they paid. Stay in your lane. Your race is unique. Your journey is sacred. Sometimes vision isolates you. It separates you from the crowd because not everyone can handle the weight of what you're carrying. You'll have moments where people walk away, where doors close, where it feels like nothing's moving. But that's not punishment, that's preparation. Vision needs space to breathe. It needs silence to grow. Don't mistake isolation for abandonment. Sometimes God clears the room so you can finally hear His voice. You have to keep your vision before you every day. Write it down. Speak it over your life. Protect it from small talk and negative minds. Because when you stop feeding your vision, distractions start feeding on you. Every time you compromise your focus, you delay your progress. Every time you entertain doubt, you weaken your direction. But when you stay locked in, even in confusion, the road starts revealing itself one step at a time. You might not have all the answers right now, and that's okay. Vision isn't about knowing the whole map, it's about trusting the compass inside you. It's about walking by faith when sight fails. It's about believing in the unseen, even when nothing around you supports it. The world calls it crazy. Faith calls it vision. There's power in persistence. There's strength in staying, because every distraction is temporary, but the purpose behind your vision is eternal. If you can stay focused through the storm, you'll step into seasons you never imagined. Don't let the noise of the world drown out the whisper of destiny. You were made for something bigger than comfort, greater than applause, deeper than recognition. You were made to fulfill the vision placed inside you. So, I'm asking you tonight, what do you see, not with your eyes, but with your faith? What picture burns inside you when the lights go out? What dream keeps you awake when everything else says, let it go? That's your vision talking. Don't silence it. Don't water it down for people who can't see it. Don't give up just because it's taking time. Hold on, because the only thing worse than losing your focus is losing the reason you started. Sometimes the most dangerous distractions don't look like distractions at all. They come wearing the mask of opportunity. They smile at you, they flatter you, they make you feel seen. They promise progress, but their only goal is to pull you off course. That's how life tests your discernment, by sending things that look right, but aren't right for *you. You've got to learn to look beyond what glitters, because not every open door was meant for you to walk through. Some doors are traps that were built to look like blessings. You've got to be careful when something shows up too easy, too fast, too shiny. The path of purpose will test your patience. It will never reward your shortcuts. Sometimes the very thing that looks like a breakthrough is actually a breakdown in disguise. It'll tell you it's your time. It'll feed your ego. It'll make you feel like you've arrived. But what it's really doing is taking your focus from what matters most. There are people who will come into your life and tell you they believe in your dream, but secretly they just want access to your energy. They want to drain your strength for their convenience. They'll sound supportive until your growth threatens their comfort. That's why you've got to guard your spirit as much as your schedule. Not everyone who claps for you wants you to win. Some are just close enough to see how to stop you when the spotlight shifts. Distractions don't always shout. Sometimes they whisper. They come disguised as good advice. They sound logical. They sound kind. But they pull you away from your assignment, one small step at a time. You won't even notice it at first. You'll tell yourself, I'm just taking a break, or it's just one compromise. And before long, you've drifted miles from where you were supposed to be. You'll wake up wondering why your fire feels weaker, why your hunger feels smaller, why your dream feels distant. It's because you started chasing what looked good instead of staying committed to what was good for you. You have to understand that distractions are not always sinful. Sometimes they're simply misaligned. Something can be right for someone else and still be wrong for you. Purpose has a pattern, and if it's not your pattern, it won't fit no matter how beautiful it looks. You can't let imitation become your inspiration. Just because it worked for them doesn't mean it's your road to walk. Sometimes opportunity is just temptation dressed up in timing. It's there to test your focus, to see if you'll settle for less when you were built for more. It'll ask you, do you really believe what you said you believed? Will you wait for what's yours, or will you grab what's convenient? That's the crossroad every visionary faces, the battle between what's available and what's assigned. You've got to be mature enough to say no even when it looks good. Discipline isn't just about doing the right thing. It's about rejecting the wrong thing that feels right. If every opportunity excites you, that means you haven't learned to filter through wisdom yet. You've got to get to the place where peace, not pleasure, becomes your confirmation. And sometimes the distraction is internal. It's not a person or an offer. It's your own need to be validated, your own desire to prove something to the world. You chase noise because silence makes you confront your doubts. You run toward busy because stillness exposes your fear. You can't let your insecurities lead you into detours that don't belong to you. Don't let your need to be seen make you forget your need to stay steady. Every time you say yes to a distraction, you're saying no to your destiny. You can't build something lasting if you're always entertaining something temporary. If it doesn't feed your faith, it's feeding your failure. If it doesn't push you toward purpose, it's pulling you toward destruction. Learn to discern the difference and listen. Sometimes the right opportunity at the wrong time is still the wrong opportunity. Timing matters, alignment matters. You might think you're missing something, but what you're really doing is making room for what's meant to stay. Don't rush into every door that opens. Wait for the one that was unlocked for **you. Asterisk, when you learn to protect your focus, you stop confusing attention with purpose. You stop needing validation from people who don't even understand your vision. You stop chasing quick wins and start building lasting impact. Because at the end of the day, the only opportunity worth taking is the one that doesn't cost you your peace, your purpose, or your focus. You can't keep your focus if you can't control your mind. That's where the real battle begins. Not out there, but in here. The war for your destiny is fought in your thoughts long before it shows up in your actions. You can't walk in peace with a mind full of noise. You can't chase purpose with a head full of doubt. Every day, something is fighting for space in your mind. Fear, insecurity, opinions, anxiety. And if you don't take control of that space, it will control you. The mind is the steering wheel of your life. Wherever your thoughts go, your life follows. That's why you can't let every feeling dictate your direction. You can't let every thought find a home in your head. Just because a thought knocks doesn't mean you have to let it in. You've got to learn to be the gatekeeper of your mind. Every day you decide what stays and what goes, what feeds you and what drains you. It's not the storm around you that breaks you. It's the storm inside you. When your mind is cluttered, even the smallest challenges feel impossible. But when your mind is clear, you can walk through chaos and still move with confidence. You've got to train your mind to stay calm when life starts shaking. You've got to learn to quiet the noise before the noise quiets your purpose. Every negative thought you entertain is a seed you're watering. Every fear you replay is a chain you're tightening. You've got to learn to interrupt your own negativity. You've got to catch it before it catches you. When that thought says, "You can't do it," you've got to answer back, "Watch me." When your past whispers, "You failed before," you've got to declare, "That was preparation, not punishment." When doubt says, "You're not enough," you've got to remind yourself, "I already have what I need." Guarding your mind isn't about pretending problems don't exist. It's about refusing to give them power they don't deserve. The moment you let fear live rent free in your head, it starts building a home in your heart. That's why you've got to evict anything that doesn't build you. Worry won't pay your bills. Doubt won't build your dreams. Fear won't finish what faith started. You can't focus if your thoughts are divided. You can't move forward if your mind keeps replaying old pain. Some of you are physically free but mentally imprisoned, still reliving failures, still repeating regrets, still replaying conversations that don't deserve another second of your attention. You can't change what happened, but you can change what you give energy to. Stop rehearsing pain that was meant to teach you and start building peace that was meant to sustain you. You've got to learn to feed your mind what fuels your future. Stop spending all your time feeding on negativity, gossip, drama, comparison, noise. Your mind can't produce focus if you're feeding it confusion. You can't expect clarity when you're addicted to chaos. Start feeding your mind with truth, with vision, with gratitude, because whatever you consistently feed grows stronger. Sometimes you've got to talk to yourself louder than your fears do. You've got to declare peace even when everything around you looks like war. You've got to speak focus when everything in you wants to quit. You can't wait for motivation to find you. You've got to train your mind to create it. That's where discipline comes in, not because it feels good, but because it produces growth. And listen, people will always have opinions about you. They'll tell you who you should be, what you should do when you should move. But if you keep letting every voice shape your thoughts, you'll lose your own. You can't afford to rent out space in your mind to people who don't live with your purpose. Silence the noise and protect your peace, because peace is not found, it's built. Thought by thought, decision by decision. The stronger your mind, the clearer your focus. The clearer your focus, the greater your power. You'll stop reacting to everything and start responding with wisdom. You'll stop being pulled by emotion and start being led by conviction. You'll stop chasing validation and start walking in purpose. Because when your mind is anchored, no storm can move you. So tonight, I want you to make a decision. No more giving space to thoughts that tear you down. No more letting your fears have the final word. Guard your mind like it's sacred, because it is. It's the birthplace of everything you'll ever build. Losing focus doesn't happen all at once. It's not some loud explosion that announces itself. No, it's quiet. It's slow. It creeps in like a shadow that stretches a little farther each day until one morning you wake up and realize the fire that used to burn in you has dimmed to a flicker. You didn't plan to drift. You just stopped paying attention. You told yourself you'd take one day off, one break, one small pause to breathe. But one day became two became a week, and now the purpose that once consumed you feels distant, like something you used to know. The silent drift is dangerous because it feels harmless. You convince yourself you're okay, that you'll get back on track when things settle down. But things never just settle down. Life will always have a reason to pull you off course. There will always be another distraction, another excuse, another delay waiting to see if you'll take the bait. That's why discipline is not a moment, it's a lifestyle. You've got to be intentional about staying anchored even when nothing around you feels certain. You know how it starts. You stop waking up early like you used to. You stop journaling, stop praying, stop reflecting, stop doing the little things that once kept your spirit alive. You start scrolling more, doubting more, complaining more. You start looking around instead of looking ahead. And before you realize it, the hunger that used to drive you has turned into hesitation. You don't move with the same fire, you don't speak with the same conviction, and you start settling for average because excellence takes energy. That's how drifting works. It doesn't shout, it lulls. It doesn't destroy overnight, it distracts daily. It tells you you've earned a break. When you've barely started building, it says you're doing enough. When you know deep down there's more in you. It makes you comfortable with almost, and almost is the enemy of achievement. Almost successful, almost disciplined, almost ready. But almost never wins battles, never changes lives, never fulfills purpose. You've got to wake up to the drift. You've got to catch it before it becomes a cycle. Look at your habits, what's changed. Look at your thoughts, what's become louder. Look at your conversations. Who are you letting speak into your life? Because drift doesn't just happen in isolation. It's often influenced by the company you keep. If you surround yourself with people who settle, you'll start believing that settling is normal. If you hang around those who gave up on their dreams, they'll talk you out of chasing yours. Sometimes the drift shows up disguised as busyness. You're moving, but you're not progressing. You're active, but not effective. You fill your calendar with things that make you feel productive, but you're really just running in circles. You're doing a lot, but you're not doing what matters. And because you're constantly in motion, you don't notice how far you've drifted from your purpose. You've got to slow down long enough to ask yourself, am I still on course? Am I still connected to the vision that started me? Because passion without direction is exhaustion. You can't afford to keep moving blindly. Every once in a while, you've got to stop and realign. You've got to remind yourself why you started, what you're fighting for, and who you're becoming in the process. Don't let routine replace revelation. Don't let the comfort of familiarity make you forget the excitement of your calling. The same energy you had when you first believed. That's the fire you've got to protect. Life will always try to cool you down. The world will always try to convince you to take it easy. But nothing great was ever built by people who coasted. You can't drift into destiny. You've got to fight for it every day. You've got to reignite your focus. Get back to doing the small things that sharpened you. Read again, pray again, plan again, move again. Stop waiting for motivation. Create it. Discipline isn't about feelings, it's about faithfulness. Even when the spark feels gone, keep striking, because consistency will always rekindle passion. Don't let the silent drift steal your destiny. Wake up to it, confront it, correct it, because one moment of awareness can save you from years of regret. Focus will always demand a price. You can't be focused and comfortable at the same time. You can't be focused and popular with everyone. You can't be focused and still do everything you want whenever you want. Focus requires sacrifice, and that's the part most people don't talk about. Everybody loves the dream, but not everybody loves the discipline that keeps it alive. Everybody wants success, but not everyone wants to let go of what's standing in the way. There comes a point where you realize that purpose will cost you comfort, growth will cost you friends, focus will cost you freedom, the freedom to be careless, to be lazy, to be average. You can't walk into greatness carrying everything and everyone. Some things have to stay behind for you to move forward. The question isn't whether you can handle success. The question is whether you can handle separation. There are seasons where you'll have to be misunderstood. You'll have to walk alone. You'll have to say no to invitations, to distractions, to people who won't understand why you're not available anymore. They'll think you've changed, and they'll be right, because when your focus shifts, your circle has to shift too. You can't keep building at the same level while entertaining old habits. You can't move higher if you keep feeding what holds you down. Sacrifice is proof that you're serious. You can't say you want something and not be willing to give something up for it. Whether it's your comfort zone, your bad habits, your ego, or your distractions, something has to go. Every elevation demands elimination. The higher you climb, the lighter you have to travel. You can't bring unnecessary weight into your next season. You have to stop asking for purpose while holding on to pleasure. Stop asking for clarity while living in confusion. Stop asking for discipline while feeding your distractions. You can't plant seeds of progress and expect to harvest success while watering comfort. Focus requires you to make hard decisions. It means giving up what's convenient for what's necessary. There's a difference between interest and commitment. Interest says, I'll do it when it's easy. Commitment says, I'll do it even when it hurts. Interest quits when it's tired. Commitment keeps going because it knows the price is worth it. That's what focus looks like. It's not about excitement. It's about endurance. It's not about how loud you start. It's about how long you last. When you decide to stay focused, you'll feel resistance. Everything that once entertained you will start calling your name. Old habits will try to creep back in. Old relationships will reappear. The enemy knows he can't destroy your purpose, but if he can tempt you to trade it for comfort, you'll destroy it yourself. That's why you've got to stay alert. You've got to remind yourself every day why you started, what you're fighting for, and what's at stake if you stop. Sacrifice doesn't feel good, but it builds strength. Every time you say no to distraction, you're saying yes to destiny. Every time you walk away from comfort, you're walking toward clarity. Every time you choose discipline over desire, you're proving you're ready for what's next. You'll have days when you feel like it's too much, when you wonder if it's even worth it. But what's the alternative? To stay stuck where you are? To keep living below your potential just because it's easy? Purpose was never meant to be painless. Diamonds don't form without pressure. Gold isn't purified without fire. You can't become who you're meant to be without sacrifice. So when it gets hard, don't see it as punishment. See it as preparation. Every sacrifice is building something in you: endurance, faith, maturity, strength. You're not losing when you let go. You're making room. You're creating space for something better. You can't reach your next level living by your old standards. You've got to elevate your habits, your mindset, your discipline. You've got to learn to say, no, not this time. I've got too much to lose. I've got too much to build. I've come too far to turn back now. That's what it means to be focused. It won't always feel good, but it will always be worth it. The pain of sacrifice is temporary, but the reward of focus is forever. Sometimes the greatest strength you'll ever show in your life won't come from what you say yes to, but from what you have the courage to say no to. Saying no doesn't make you cold, it makes you clear. It doesn't make you selfish, it makes you stable. You can't say yes to everything and still expect to walk in peace. You can't please everyone and still expect to fulfill your purpose. Every time you say yes to something that doesn't align with your vision, you're saying no to the thing that does. There's a moment in every person's life when you realize your time, your energy, your focus. They're not unlimited. You only get so much, so why waste it on things that don't build you? Why give your yes to people who drain you, to opportunities that distract you, to emotions that destroy your peace? When you learn to say no, you start protecting the parts of you that matter most. Some of you are tired, not because you're overworked, but because you're overcommitted. You've been saying yes out of guilt, out of fear, out of habit. You've been saying yes because you don't want to disappoint anyone, and now you're the one disappointed. Disappointed in yourself for settling, for stretching, for scattering your strength in too many directions. You've got to learn that your purpose doesn't require everyone's approval. You don't owe access to people who only show up to take. It's not easy to say no. It feels uncomfortable at first, especially when you've built your life around keeping everyone happy. But focus demands boundaries. You can't build something strong while leaving your door open to every distraction that knocks. You've got to get comfortable disappointing the wrong people so you can stay committed to the right mission. The power of saying no is really the power of saying yes to something greater. When you say no to drama, you're saying yes to peace. When you say no to procrastination, you're saying yes to progress. When you say no to chaos, you're saying yes to clarity. Every no has a purpose. Every no protects your power. You've got to stop treating your focus like it's public property. Not everybody deserves access to your attention. Some people only show up to drain your focus, not to develop it. Some conversations sound harmless, but they pull your mind into places it shouldn't be. Some environments look fun, but they lower your energy every time you step into them. You can't rise if you're constantly lowering your standards just to keep people comfortable. You've got to know the difference between being nice and being wise. Nice will let everyone in. Wise will check the spirit before it opens the door. Nice will make excuses for why you keep tolerating what's toxic. Wise will say no more. And sometimes wisdom looks like walking away, not because you don't care, but because you finally do. There will be people who don't understand your boundaries. They'll say you've changed. They'll say you're acting different. but growth is different. Maturity is different. Focus will change how you move. When your vision becomes clear, your circle will become smaller. And that's not loss, that's alignment. You don't need a crowd to confirm your calling. You just need peace in your spirit that says, I'm where I'm supposed to be. When you say no, you take your power back. You stop being reactive and start being intentional. You stop living by other people's expectations and start living by your own convictions. You stop letting temporary emotions make permanent decisions. You start choosing with clarity instead of chaos. It's not easy, but it's necessary. The moment you learn to protect your focus, your life starts changing. You find more time, more peace, more purpose. You start hearing your own thoughts again. You start feeling your strength return. You start realizing how much of your energy was being wasted on things that didn't deserve it. Focus is fragile. You can't hand it to just anyone. You've got to guard it like treasure, and saying no is how you guard it. You're not rejecting people. You're respecting your purpose. You're not being arrogant or being aware. You're not being distant. You're being disciplined. So stop apologizing for your boundaries. Stop explaining your peace. Stop feeling guilty for protecting what you're building. You don't owe anyone access to the version of you that's no longer available. You've evolved, and that's something to be proud of.